Hi everyone, good evening. Um, I wanted to do this video to talk about something that I have been engaged in conversations in regards of this subject. And today we happen to have the opportunity to see the struggles that we go through mostly every day, every night with our children at bedtime. Um, Here's Isaac, and he can't sleep, and he's keeping his brother up. However, when it's not Isaac, it's Matthew, and when it's not Matthew, it's Emily, and when it's not Emily, it's Elizabeth. And I wanted to discuss something that I feel is important for the world to hear. Just recently, as I mentioned, I've been having this conversation with different people, um, especially when it comes to um, sleeping problems in kids with autism and other exceptionalities and school attendance. I want you to first understand something. ABA is not um, a therapy that is used to decode the brain of your children. It's simply a therapy that is used to correct challenging behaviors. However, as you all know, autism is something that it is still being studied and researched. So we don't know the cause, and we know little about the brain of children and people with autism. So we may think by the little things that we know that we are very knowledgeable about this subject, but this is not the case. There's a lot to still look into in terms of you know what autism is and why it occurs in some children. So the first thing I want to tell you is that no matter how much you try to create schedules and plan ahead of time and create a healthy, safe, sound free environment for children to sleep disturbances are gonna still continue because it is part of the spectrum. And many teachers and EAs and school personnel, such as, I don't know, principals and such, believe that we parents have the responsibility to force our children to sleep at a certain time or maybe to sleep every day so they can wake up the next day and go to school. And it sounds good in the practice, but it sounds good in theory, but in practice it's a different ball game. First of all these people and many of the people constantly judging parents whose children are autistic or um, special needs don't understand that our children have sensory disorders and that they feel, taste, and listen to things that we don't. And most of these things that they listen, taste, and even see can be controlled or regulated. And they don't go away with ABA services. So no matter how much we try and we do, although we try to manage the situation, it is still gonna be there. And it's gonna be always a challenge. And we're gonna have kids that are gonna sleepwalk. We're gonna have kids that are gonna be opening the doors and walking in the middle of the night outside to explore. We're gonna have kids having night terrors. We're gonna have kids wet in the bed. We're gonna have kids waking up in the middle of the night to eat foods. We're gonna have kids to wake up in the middle of the night, sit down on the bed and start rocking. We're also gonna have kids to wake up in the middle of the night screaming like somebody's killing them and start knocking their head and hitting themselves. This is what real autism is. So don't expect us, school personnel, parents, to have our children forced to go to school after having these awful nights, because it won't happen. For you, maybe it's easy because you're just trying to fill up your guidelines and policies per your board. But us parents that we care about our children, we need to make sure that first the children are safe. And when a child doesn't sleep in the whole night, they can't function next day. And like I said, no matter how much we try, it's impossible to control this kind of behavior. And ABA services or ABA therapy does not use techniques that can help magically disappear all these symptoms and things. So just be realistic. You're dealing with something that is a spectrum disorder, and symptoms or behaviors can just suddenly appear. The best that you can do to support your kiddos is do this. Close your ears to the criticism and the stigma. When somebody stands out to you and critique what you do and your work as a parent, you simply said, the day that you walk in my shoes is the day that I will give you permission to make a judgment. Until that day, you shouldn't be talking or making judgment, because you have no idea what families have to go through every morning, every day, and every night. I'm going to leave it to that. God bless you. And I hope that all the parents that are just going through the same thing tonight know that you're not alone. And that one day, we all going to conquer this. And we're going to keep fighting, because we are a movement. And our movement will not stop until society change its mind, and until kids with special needs and people with special needs get the respect and the recognition that they deserve. Peace out, much love, take care.